Good evening, campers, and welcome aboard the Starship Nightwish. I'm Commander Exorcist, and welcome to Talk O Tuesday. This is my weekly Elite Dangerous show where I pick a Galnet article, read it, talk about it, primarily from a lore perspective, but I will break the fourth wall if necessary, and it's a little bit necessary at the moment. It's great to be back. I have been gone for a few weeks, or at least my persona has been gone for a few weeks. There's been a lot going on. The galaxy has been extremely busy. You know, we had the Taranis destruction, and then exactly 2 weeks later, we had Legong, which was taken out. And so a lot of kind of following up with those events, and then somehow I ended up locked in a shipping crate on the Nightwish. And fortunately, I was able to break out before my oxygen ran out, but apparently a certain cigar-smoking pineapple dude took over my show last week, and I mean, at least he got the news out, so that's good. He did have a few things to say I don't approve of, but, you know, that's kind of what he does. So, but I'm excited to be back, and we are going to go through an article that actually came out a couple of days ago, because we're in a season right now where we're waiting on another update pretty soon, and we're going to start hearing a little bit about power play and the kind of the other things that are coming this year. And with the destruction of the Titans, we're going to start seeing, I think, a little bit more silence from Galnet, because it's going to take time for some of us for us to collect the materials and research to be done, and new materials, new weapons, and whatever to be kind of pushed out to the community. However, what we are going to talk about today is the big one that is still going on. I believe this is a 2-week CG for folks, and it's actually pretty cool. So we're going to talk about this article. It actually came out a couple of days ago, like I said, and it's Achilles Aerospace urges pilots to plunder Titans. So the Titan remains. So we have Taranis, which recently opened up, so you can go in, you can fly in, and there are materials that you can recover from the Taranis wreck. It is surreal to go into that cloud and fly through the remains of that ship. It's just a really cool experience. If you haven't had a chance to do it, it's not difficult to get in, and it's not that difficult really to collect materials. So there's a bunch of videos on YouTube that can show you how to build a non-engineered ship to fly into the cloud, visit the Taranis ruins, and collect some materials. But in collecting materials, it's not just about, you know, collecting the materials, selling them for credits, which is what a lot of people do. Achilles Aerospace has reached out to commanders across the galaxy, and they want our help for a very special reason. Now, if you don't know who Achilles Aerospace is, they are the company that builds the little skimmers that hover over settlements that are security for these settlements, but you can usually take out with a single rifle blast. Yeah, they're very, very dangerous. The Goliaths, on the other hand, those things are kind of crazy. But the little skimmers that we just kind of like blow up all over the galaxy, yeah, they make those. I believe they also make the operating system for a lot of the starports. Like when you log in to the starport computer consoles, I think Achilles is that's the operating system that's on those. I have to look and see. But we're going to go through this and see what Achilles wants and talk a little bit about what could potentially be coming down the road, because I'm very excited about this. I'm sorry I peaked a little bit when I was putting it together, and it got me excited, so I stopped reading. We'll go through this together. We've got intense investment into research on Titan travel has been announced by the aerospace subdivision of the famed robotics company. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're a robot company. So I guess there was like a major spy robot uprising at some point. And so they've been in the news. These are also the guys with the winking cat, aren't they? If you don't know what I mean, look it up. Look up Winking Cat Elite Dangerous. It's kind of funny. Their research has been centered on the method used by the Thargoid Titans to travel at speeds well beyond that of humanity's current technological capacity. So, when the Titans first appeared, they appeared several months before they arrived in the bubble, and they started out as these bright points of light in the sky, and they could be seen from all over the place. And we were able to track them to the point where there were some commanders, I believe it was Alexa, or I hope it was, where they were able to film the thing flying by a star system. So this was an extrasolar travel. It wasn't like a witch space jump, like a hyperspace jump from one sector to the other. It was a straight shot through deep space. And yes, it was kind of a slow trip, but the technology to be able to sustain that speed for so long over a vast distance like that, that's pretty impressive. It really was. And so seeing the Stargoids, as we called them at the time, growing brighter in the sky, it was really something. And, I think that we all kind of knew they were ships. We just didn't know what they were going to look like. So the Maelstrom was a surprise, and the Pulse Wave was a surprise. Kind of the whole setup was a surprise. We knew what it was. We just didn't know how it was going to be, I guess you could say. A spokesman for Achilles Aerospace had this to say: "For so long now, the means of space travel have been controlled by one company in a strict monopoly. Under that monopoly, progress seems to have stagnated entirely." That's true. It really has. But Achilles is a corporation built on the iteration and refinement of technology, and we intend to bring space travel into a new age. So the Frameshift drive technology, when it was first introduced with when Elite Dangerous was released, and then a couple years later you had the engineers that allowed us to expand that capability. And then we got I think the next thing we got is like the Guardian Frameshift drive booster. That's it. Like, the technology hasn't progressed very much. Yes, it's opened up the galaxy to us, but, with the capability that we have, you would think there'd be something that could be done to stretch it just a little bit more. Or at least refine the way that fleet carriers jump. My God, those things are really cumbersome. But I get it. It's like jumping a giant city. So I think that's what we're looking at here. We have been limited to observational data alone so far, but that is no longer the case. The remnant of Taranis is now accessible, and within it lies the missing component to our work. We urge pilots to venture to the wreckage of the destroyed Titan and try to obtain one of the rare Titan drive components. Achilles Aerospace will pay generously for any that are sold to Block Station in the Ethris system. Experts warn that the Taranis site remains extremely dangerous. Now, I say it's easy to go in there. It's easier than when the Titan was active. It's still dangerous. There are still goids lurking around. Okay, you're not going to be able to go in there and just kind of chill. Caustic sinks should be equipped. Yes, they should. Pretty much, if you're going to do anything with the Thargoids, bring caustic sinks. Okay, caustic sinks and heat sinks. And care should be taken due to reports of Thargoid ships active, like we said. But if you can run cool and fast, cool and fast is kind of the rule for dealing with Thargoids, you're going to be fine. Now, this is exciting. It really is. But it's important to be reasonable about it. A lot of times we try to kind of overanalyze it. But in this case, we have, a few years ago, we got the Guardian Frameshift drive booster. And so we have the ability to kind of jump our ships just a little bit faster, just a little bit further. And so now we're looking at the possibility of Titan drive components being integrated into our ships. Now, I say our ships. I don't know if they're talking about fleet carriers or if they're talking about mega ships. I would assume that this is something that we'll be able to strap to a Cobra or to an Anaconda. That would be super cool. Like I said, when I was talking about the Stargoids, it's not a very convenient way of traveling. Jumping, kind of going through deep space on a long trip. It's really not as convenient as jumping from one star to another. But there has to be some kind of benefit that we could gain from that kind of technology. The power requirements and the power, the way that the power is utilized, the refining the way that our generators and our reactors interface with frameshift drives could be monumental. Can you imagine a ship that could jump 125 light years in a jump as a baseline? Like, that's just it? And then you could engineer it for more? I mean, cutting the time from the bubble to Colonia in half. There's all kinds of options. Now, I'm talking exclusively about some stuff that, it's been theorized, I've read, and I've heard. These are some things people in the community have been talking about, and it's a legit possibility. Some other things that I've heard, and I tend to think that this kind of stuff is probably more realistic. Instead of an enhancement to, say, the speed or the distance at which we can jump and travel, I would wonder if this would be more of an enhancement to our drives in terms of, say, being able to avoid an interdiction. It would be nice to be able to fly through Thargoid space and not be interdicted every 7 minutes, or every 7 seconds at this point. When I was trying to get to Legong on the last run, I think I got interdicted in the system 7 times before I got to the cloud. It's just something you learn to deal with. But it would be really cool to have some kind of component that kind of neutralizes the interdiction process. And possibly, I know we're always talking about it. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but the possibility of finally getting into some of these permit lock systems and entering the cone sector, entering the area where the Thargoids come from. These things come from somewhere. They don't just appear. It is not enough for humanity to beat the Thargoids in our backyard and then leave them to be able to just send more. At some point, you have to go after the hive. You have to go after the home base. You have to let them know, hey, stay out of our backyard or we're coming to yours. And so if we have the capability to bring down their Titan motherships, at some point we have to consider the fact that humanity's going to have to step up and push our way into Thargoid space. I don't know. It's a possibility. There's a whole list of things that could be done with this technology, but it is blatantly obvious that something is coming. There is a huge thing coming that will benefit us. We are getting new ships very soon. So it's possible that this technology coupled with new ships, new feature, new function, maybe it's something we don't know about yet. And so that would be really cool. Another option, which I think is highly unlikely but would be really awesome, is if it was able to strap to a fleet carrier and make that jump less painful. Maybe by eliminating the need for the trinium or something. Hey, I'm just throwing things out. Okay, I know these things are probably not going to happen, but like I said, there's 1,000 different things that could come from this. So, but it's very exciting. So the way this works is you go into the Taranis cloud, collect the materials, try to find a Titan drive component. I have heard that it's very difficult to find. Some of the folks that I've talked to have had success flying around at the outer edge of the ruins. Stay cool and fast. Stay cool and fast, and watch out. And just keep kind of circling, and they've been able to find some. It's not something most people are going to be able to fly in and collect one in about 2 or 3 minutes. It does apparently seem to be something that really is rare, and they did mention that here in the article. So, just be a little patient if you're going to go into the system and try to grab one of these things. So, and these are the disciples. Thank you. I've had a couple of new disciples join in. Thank you, everyone, for your support here on the channel. Contributions here keep this channel running and also allow me to produce photos, videos, and stuff across all of my social media, and I greatly appreciate it. If you would like to become one, if you'd like to join us and continue and help support the channel, patreon.com/Commander Exorcist. You get early access to some videos. You get some behind-the-scenes stuff, a vlog, and then you get access to other community-related things that we've been working on. So we'd love to have you. There's the address. So, hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it. I think that it's really cool. The atmosphere around the game, the atmosphere in the community is so awesome. It's refreshing to see so many people engaged, and the Legong fight was so much fun. To be able to go in and participate with friends and to be a part of that and to see the results and to know that we're starting to work on other systems, and just the level of engagement among everybody and the support is unmatched. And it's so cool to see. It's so awesome to be a part of. I'm excited about what Achilles might come up with, get out there, get some Titan drives, get some credits, and get your rewards for participation in the CG to support the research, because the year is speeding along. We're already in March, approaching April. So we're going to start to see Update 19 information, Power Play information coming very soon. So we need to be ready, and we need commanders that are out there doing the work. And I will be doing the work in 2 places, in deep space with the Nightwish, scanning flowers, and then here in the bubble doing my part in the war and providing Taco Tuesday correspondence as best I can. Everybody, again, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I'm Commander Exorcist. Take care, fly safe, and I will see you out there. Good night, everybody.